Do you use a mic or use a headset that's also a mic?
So for my computer, I use a headset that also has a mic in it. It's called the Rig 400. And I got for like 40, 50 bucks at the Walmart because I needed a headset. So that's where everything is, and I couldn't find much information on it. So
But it's
I'm
better
guessing
to have is it better to have a separate one?
You're talking to the wrong guy about that. I wouldn't know, but
All right, boys and girls.
That's stuff I'm looking into anyway.
Welcome
But
back.
if I do find a Blue Yeti
Genie.
or whatever, hopefully I can buy one locally, like a Best Buy, and get it quick. So I don't have to wait like 2 weeks for through Amazon or whatever because of everything that's going
it's just
on.
gonna be super slow through Amazon.
Yeah. Same with Newegg and other places too. So
All right, Genie's cutting a promo about his mic. All right, welcome
starting
back
up?
to the Spoilercast with your host MKL. I'm here with my two
Wonder
Lincolnite
if Mike
cohorts,
realizes his
Prince
microphone
Dame.
is on mute.
Am I on mute? Am I on mute?
He started without us.
That'd be pretty funny if you didn't.
I'm
Let's
on
just do
mute.
let's do the podcast like that.
Yeah, just three of us. We're coming
Mike
out
doesn't
Mike
realize
this time.
he talks on the podcast, but he doesn't realize he can't hear him.
Oh God, Jesus. Okay. Oh, that's a perfect way to start the podcast. Okay.
the man finally appears.
All right.
We're all
Jesus.
just talking over him.
I had
thought you
to
were just
allow
saying something.
Discord to hear my mic. All right, well, cool. Yeah, we'll take it from the top. Welcome back to the Spoilercast. I'm your host MKL, and I'm here with my two Lincolnite cohorts, Prince Dame and King George. How we doing, boys?
Feeling good?
I'm doing all right.
We also have our extra special lore guest here today with King Genie. How we doing, boy?
I'm doing all right.
How's Single Barrel, George?
It's same old, really. Just kind of slow. Actually, yesterday we did like $600 in sales, which was pretty nice for us. Saturday night we did 1,100, which is pretty decent. That's the best night we've had so far.
Shit, so everybody's got that stimulus check.
I still need to make sure I see if I got mine in or not, but probably. I'm assuming I did.
Just double check. I got mine earlier today, so a lot of people did. So doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I
gotta
got
figure out
my
my,
double payday
monthly
today. My paycheck and my stimulus check.
Well, I couldn't even log into my bank at all today to check anything, so that was interesting. U.S. Bank's still down, I think.
Damn.
I'm a Fargo man.
Damn.
Same.
I got locked out of
Bro.
my shit. I forgot my password and they locked me out, so I gotta figure that out.
Sick.
Ouch.
Working from home, still perfection. Dame?
Yeah. All the days seeming like they run together now. Wake up, JRPG, go to bed, more JRPG.
Yeah, I can imagine. That shit is
Looks like you're
ridiculous.
living the life.
Well, Jeannie, you got anything going on right now that's new?
Same old. Just job hunting, house hunting, and trying to play games in my library, and not playing fighting games unless I have a random urge to.
That sounds about right. That's a decent segue, because today we have absolutely minimal fighting game news to talk about. In fact, the only two I could find worth mentioning was the Guilty Gear Strive beta and the Soul Calibur 6 patch. Let's start on the Strive beta. I think the only two of us that are going to know anything about it are Genie and Dame, so I don't know. Genie, take us away first.
So the Strive beta, you can, if you have a code, you can download it right now. The beta is to get ready. Then it's supposed to start tomorrow, and it's gonna be in waves, from my knowledge. And from what I'm checking is, I heard mixed info on this, but I heard they might do like characters and waves. So like you can play these characters on this day, these characters on this day. I hope that's wrong, because I'm only interested in a few characters. But it's supposed to start tomorrow at, from what the chart here, they're going by PDT, so 10 like 20:00 PDT. So
I've heard it's like 10
Basically,
p.m.
you
our
got, like-
time.
Yeah, you got like 5 hours each day to play as much as you want. Initially, people thought you could just go online even when the servers are down, or you can play offline versus the CPUs when the servers are down. But they just tweeted out that you can't. The servers must be up.
Yeah, that
So
was
it's kinda bunk.
interesting. I heard
yeah,
that you
they
can
learned their lesson
choose.
from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I heard you can choose to play against the CPU for the whole time. You don't have to go online. Is that true?
I mean, I heard a little bit of that as well, but I didn't look too much into it.
Now, let
I'm
me tell you
just-
something about this lobby they have.
Yeah, that looks so
you know, a
bad.
couple of weeks ago we talked about it being a big April Fool's joke, and then it ended up not being an April Fool's joke, and nobody's laughing.
Oh,
It's pretty bad.
looks-
Uh,
Go on, Jeannie.
Oh no, you go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah. The only thing that I like about this system is that there's the floors, and the floors are all named after classic metal albums. I think that's kind of sick.
Right. I saw that. That's tight.
Otherwise, it looks atrocious. It looks like some like fucking indie game.
Yeah, it looks like something George would play on a stream.
Yeah.
Damn. Maybe I should play the new Strive.
He's not wrong.
I
And
don't know.
play it.
They're
Let's
just
not
trying
bring
to get
indies
George to
into
play
this,
their game.
okay? Let's not bring indies into this. They didn't do anything. They don't deserve it.
Is George a potential Potemkin player?
Yeah.
I don't have a code, so I'm waiting until they release it on mobile phones.
Did you have like 10 codes, Jeannie? Give one to my man George here.
Is it PS4 only?
Yeah, because it's Japan. So,
Ah, that makes sense. Don't give me
and
a code.
I only
I
had
doubt I'll use it.
3 codes, and I used one of them. That I gave the other 2 to local people in the area. So
I don't know enough about the game, so I'll just go online and get beaten up by laggy projectile spam or something shit like that.
yeah,
No
it's
rollback.
it's gonna be
beta. It's weird.
yeah, it's gonna be a delay. So good luck. But I'm excited just to like get my own ample time to play it.
Yeah. I honestly don't care to play it at the moment, but I'm interested to at least watch people play it because I'm not very good at Guilty Gear in general, so I don't think I'll learn anything if I were to play it this early on. So, yeah, I'm probably just going to tune into a bunch of streams like Kizzy and, you know, the usual suspects. Maybe catch Red Blade.
That motherfucker is not gonna play Guilty. I can tell you that.
Is he a diehard
Eh,
player?
And I'm excited for Guilty. It's actually one of my favorite fighting games to like to play. If it didn't die, well, it not really die, but if it didn't like went out the way it did, I would still be playing it. Hella on the side.
Yeah, I respect Guilty Gear a lot, but it's just, I don't know. I played Reload a lot when I was a kid, and then I just like, I don't know. I took a large break from fighting games when Tekken 5 came out, so I like completely ignored Guilty Gear since I came back. So I don't know. Maybe this is the one that
Yeah,
will
it's
get me
great.
right.
There's a lot of doomsayers online right now about the new Guilty Gear Strive, about how they casualize the game and it's not actual Guilty Gear.
Yeah,
But
dude.
you know, this is the first time they're gonna get their hands on the game, so let's see if everybody changes their tune after they try it out.
Oh, a lot of it is right, and a lot of them did play it at like the events, and a lot of it is just like speculation, like reading up on everything. But they took feedback from like the events, like Frosty Fossings and other events like that, mostly about like, okay, what do we want to get changed? And they said about 80% of people said EUI and also rollback.
Yeah, to be fair, they did change up the UI a little bit. Some parts are still sus for me, but they did change it, and they also are adding rollback. down the road at some point, hopefully, maybe, and it won't be like SFV implementation where it's all just teleporting everywhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they get more than one person to actually work on it, on that net code. Not like Street Fighter 5.
I'm gonna say
We'll
it
see.
one more time where everyone thought Grand Blue was gonna suck shit, and then most everyone likes that game. So give Strive a chance. Give Strive a chance. Seriously.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a chance, but if it still turns out to be whack, I'm gonna shut on it.
If it's like one of those
So-
things where if you think it's whack just because your character doesn't have access to a move he had in the previous games, get fucked. Like,
Well, I would love to say that, but my character's not even in the game, so
well,
I'm gonna be soul
Who's
searching here
character?
pretty soon.
if you don't
I play
have,
Heihun.
if you don't have a character, you can just pick Soul.
Plays Coom. He's the Coomer.
Yeah.
Is that little Korean girl and a giant old man robot? I play that character.
It's a newer character. I'd say there's about a 0% chance he's making it in, or
Yeah.
she's making it in this Strive. So
There's no
Yeah.
I
shot.
love playing Guilty Gear. I mean, potentially is the obvious answer, but I don't know.
You'll probably play Pi, honestly, but some of his changes are like very like, I don't really know.
You know,
Like almost every
no, go
like
on.
almost
Jamie.
every pod player I know does not like the changes, especially Fab. Like when the Japanese Expo happened a few months back, and all the Japanese top heads were playing Strive. Everyone but Fab was saying positive things about the game. Fab was straight trashing it, especially since they changed a lot of stuff for Pi. Mostly Heat Knuckle. It's no longer unblockable, so you could block it in the air now. So it's like, okay, where's the call out now? So you can't
Yeah,
make me
there
scared
are-
for jumping unless he has meter.
there are a few diehard Exerd fans that hate what they're doing with Strive, like Teresa and Fab for a couple of examples of that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll change their tune because they seem pretty steadfast on their view on it so far.
It's obviously
it is
designed to be a new game, like not attached to previous titles. I think that's why a lot of people gave Grand Blue, they cut Grand Blue some slack because it's a new IP, and you know it tried a lot of new things. Whereas Strive's probably not going to get the benefit of the doubt on that since it's tied so much to the previous games. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of legacy stuff you have to account for with Guilty Gear. A lot. Like one of the main ones being FD break and throws and Strive. Throws are it's not like old school throws. You just press close and heavy. It's more like a newer school game. So you press two buttons, you throw. That alone's a big change because that changes like wake up and some instant block punishes and stuff like that. And now it's no longer even going to be frame 1, but now it's going to be like they say frame 3 or frame 4, and there's a whiff animation, so there's a good apples and oranges scenario.
That's
right there.
all fine to me though, because I don't know, it's one of those things where in every game that gets a new iteration, I always just say, go play the one you like then, and leave the new one for the rest of us. And like the teams need to make money, so they have to make a new game, and they have to try as hard as they can to introduce new players to the game. So, you know, you can call it casualization, but I think it's survival for small Japanese companies.
I don't know about Arcs as being small now, but I get what you're saying.
I mean, compared to the juggernauts of the business, Arxis is a drop in the bucket. So, I mean, support the game series you love. So, you know, if it has a bunch of different mechanics, you know, give it a chance. Give it a chance. That's what I'm stressing right now. Don't get butthurt because Axel doesn't have the same move set he used to have, or just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. George, also, I think you would probably like Soul in that game. He's very Alex-esque.
Alex-esque, huh?
Yeah. He has a command throw. He's very, kind of... kind of neutral heavy.
Kind of, yeah. He actually would like Soul. That's actually the common thing for pot players when they want to switch to a character. They almost always go to Soul because you can play him in a very similar way. And with the way Soul is designed, Guilties, you can play him in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, and if you watch the trailer, his command grab does like fucking 40%. So I think you're pretty good off.
Damn. I'll have to check them out. I'll have to check out, obviously, all the characters. But I'll say design-wise, Faust looks kind of cool, just the way he's dressed, but he looks kind of goofy, which I don't.
Faust is my main
That's
homie.
always been Faust.
If he was like a evil type character and not like a goofy type character, I'd probably be more down with him. I think he's a little bit too goofy.
Well, he's the most evil he's looked since the original game in this one.
Yeah, but he's like a Yoshimitsu type, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. RNG, Yoshi type, long range, good neutral, good pokes.
Oh, no, never mind. I'll play that black dude. That's what I'm gonna play. Forgot.
We still
Who?
don't know who the hell that person is. I'm waiting myself because I'm actually interested in that character myself.
That's gonna be my character, Genie. So
I haven't heard about this. Who?
Yeah, play for it.
it was like the first trailer that came out. There was some black dude that was like wearing samurai armor or some shit,
Yeah,
Really?
the same
and
night
they just
Leroy
teased
was
him
revealed.
for like 2 seconds, and then we haven't seen anything or heard anything about him since.
He already got deleted.
He's like the only new character they've shown, right? That
Yeah.
isn't from
The only new one. Everyone else has been like OG.
Like first game,
Yeah.
Guilty Gear. Yeah.
First game OGs.
So what's up with the Strive being published by Bandai Namco in Asia? Is Harada saving the FGC yet again?
It's due to just publishing because when it comes to Europe, when it comes to Arxis games, the publisher over in that area is very dicey. It's a very complicated process over there. So some games will have a developer and but publishers, other games won't. So like Granblue had a completely different publisher over in Europe compared to for us, for example. Hence why they didn't get the game until
He got it like 2 months
like
out.
early. Yeah. And that's been an ongoing trend with Arxis games for years, ever since like Persona 4 Arena 1. They always had like different publishers publishing games in Europe for the longest time, and they always get screwed. It used to be worse. It used to be way worse. It used to be so bad that like when they got, for example, they got Guilty Gear Xrd signed finally, and by the time Europe got signed, Revelator was just coming out on console everywhere else.
Damn.
And that's just and that's before Dragon Ball. Before Dragon Ball came out, like release schedules just across the board, not even just Europe, just across the board for like non-Japanese Asia territories has been always whack. So I guessing they still never got their publisher issue straightened out yet, but it's cool that they're helping, because especially with their good relationship now with Bamco, because Bamco is obligated, excuse my language, obligated to publish a Dragon Ball game once every year due to contract with Toei and Shueisha.
Huh.
This is all too much for my brain right now.
Yeah, to be honest, like I got half of that, and then I'll just say
Dropping
Harada saving the
damage.
FGC.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Harada is saving the FGC as usual. I think that's it for Guilty Gear. It's meager news, but we covered like 10 minutes on it, so respect. Moving on to the Soul 6 patch, I kind of just briefly want to gloss over it. The hard things we know of are there have been pretty minor nerfs to Ivy, Xianghua. I think Sophie had one that wasn't listed. Aswell had a nerf that wasn't listed. There was also particle effects reduced for the lightning on Sophie and Cass. Haomaru's soul attack reduced ring out distance. Oh yeah, Cassandra can't ring herself out with her CE anymore. That's good.
Thank God.
Anything else that I'm missing? It kind of was a meager patch.
Oh yeah, for Raphael's quick parade BB, that strikes into the 236B. That got fixed, so it's no longer -32 on block. Thank God, because that was not supposed to be -32.
It did
If they
seem like
kept
a
that
glitch.
in, if they kept that in, that would have been fine because you can hit confirm it, so it's whatever. But the fact it was that much is like, okay, that's a little much.
Yeah.
Also, with Haomaru, it looks like I'm reading the notes right now.
They changed a bunch of shit for his lethal hit conditions.
Yeah, it was. They changed the text on one of his lethal hit conditions, so it's more easier to understand. It's the one like, hey, if he hits you with this button, if you haven't performed a weapon attack for a long time, they just changed the text so it's easier to understand. The big one I'm worried about though is all his special moves. Apparently, they cannot trigger a guard crush, ring out wall hit, or lethal or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh? So that makes me more worried. So if it's what I think it is, I haven't tried out the patch yet. He can't ring you out with DP. He can't break your guard with Fireball. He can't break your guard with his overhead slam or his gourd special that reflect projectiles in Sam Show. Like,
Well,
I need to mess with and see in action.
He's just like continually breaking guard and then ringing out from half screen currently before the patch. We need to test him out without that shit to see if he's viable, because he was definitely a little too strong, possibly.
I mean, Shenzhen's mostly playing exclusively. He think he's fair. Shenzhen thinks he's like, it's Shenzhen or Chen Yuan, whoever plays Servi.
Shen Chan.
He thinks he's bottom of high tier or upper mid.
Yeah.
Before the changes. I don't know about now. But he's mostly liking him, and the fact that he has dick jab into special cancels combos, and he can still kill you for whiffing like a mug. Like, you can't really go wrong with that.
I think it was basically like an Akuma situation in Tekken, where the longer he would have went on with that tool set, the more and more and more broken he would have gotten. I don't think anyone even scratched the surface on how broken that dude was. But he's gone now. He's been preemptively neutered, it sounds like. But who knows? Maybe he's still viable. Anything?
I think he's gonna be fine.
Go on, Genie.
No, I said I think he's gonna be fine. Outside of that, I'm just worried about the whole changes to his special moves, breaking guard and whatnot. But outside of that, I'm not worried.
Yeah. George, you got anything to add to the game you love to play?
It seemed like a pretty good patch they just came out with. They buffed certain characters and nerfed other ones. Pretty nice work.
He's prepping for
SC
the
team.
future of this podcast, or the later portion of this podcast.
Nice work by Akubo.
Yes. Shout outs.
Got to give him his props. He did the right thing.
Dame, do you care even slightly?
About the patch, not that much, but I think it is cool. But that the Soul Calibur team is addressing these like bugs as soon as they like come out. Like, I see all of the shit on Twitter, and they immediately like patch it out the next patch. So good on them for addressing the community's concerns.
That is actually pretty impressive, because that Cassandra glitch on a specific angle of the stage, she can ring herself out. That was found like a week ago. It's not even that old, and they fixed it whenever this patch came out. So Tekken team maybe should take some notes, possibly, because they're kind of outshining you a little bit in that department.
Just because they fixed it and it was like seen like just now doesn't mean that they didn't know about it internally.
I suppose, but it's so specific that I don't even know if they knew about it. And
you never know.
True. But I mean, Tekken, they can see something in Tekken 5 and it won't be fixed even till Tekken 7. So
I told you I'm waiting for Tekken 7 remake,
You know,
part one,
yeah,
of course.
I think we might be in for that. But yeah, that is pretty much all the fighting game news we had today. So the podcast today is named Spoilercast for a reason. Today I wanted to go over the Final Fantasy VII remake, since it is it's the hot topic at the moment. Everybody's playing it except for George. And I thought we could give like a little bit of a podcast review slash spoiler at the end. So kind of when I give the spoiler warning, shit's about to get real, and if you don't want to get spoiled, click that big fat X in the top right. So first off, George, I want you to give a promo to the people about why you're refusing to play Final Fantasy VII.
Why I'm refusing to play Final Fantasy VII? Well, I just think it's pretty scummy, the whole, they come up with this remake. It's only part one. They only tell you on the back of the box. There's no indication when part two or even part three or how many parts there's even going to be. No indication when the future parts are going to come out. I just think it's kind of whack. You took like a third of your game and extended it by like 20 hours and then sold it. And it took you how many years to do it? It's just lame. I don't like it. And plus, I'm just kind of annoyed because they changed the battle system. Like, how about you put turn-based on a pedestal and say turn-based is good enough in the year 2020? Or what is it, 2019? 2020. Stop running away from turn-based RPGs and random encounters. Well, I don't even know if the original Final Fantasy VII had random encounters, but let's stand up for what RPGs were built on.
That is a pretty good take. I agree with pretty much everything you said. But Square has my balls in a vice, and I'll play anything they tell me to play, basically.
Also, I don't like what they did with the Moogle changes they made. Not a fan of that.
Hey, save your real good takes for later. You're gonna need them. Well, we have Genie on the cast today because I think in our community, it's only like me, Nick, Genie, Dame who have beaten the game. So I figured we needed somebody who has beaten Final Fantasy VII like 15 times in his life and knows way too much about it. And recognizes the faults of the original game. Like, I don't even consider it a top 5 Final Fantasy. That's me. And then we have Genie, who I think presumably is in the middle of me and Dame, because Dame hasn't even played through the original, correct?
Yep, I played through like the first disc and a half, and then I stopped.
Yeah. So Genie, you've completed the original, right?
I'm at the end right now. I was actually playing it like a week and a half before a remake was coming out because I was actually excited for it, and I'm on the end of disc 2, about to be disc 3. So, but I already know what happens and everything. So,
okay, so
Yeah,
I guess it's just
I
me who knows too much, and it's Dame and Genie.
Right.
So first off, I want to go into kind of a basic review breakdown without spoilers if possible. I mean, try really hard. Following a traditional review format. So the first criteria I want to get into is, what would you rate this game if you were to recommend it to a new player with no idea what Final Fantasy VII is? Dame, start us off.
So what would I recommend? If I would recommend, or
If you would recommend it, what you would rate it, whatever.
okay. Let's see what I rated yesterday. I think I gave it like a strong 8 to a light 9, because I think the music is superb, even without the nostalgia goggles of not
Time out,
knowing
time
the old
out.
themes and what.
To a new player without any idea of what this game is, what I'm getting at is that this game is what George was saying. Like, it's 1/3 of a game, and it's very laid out differently. Would you still give it an 8 if you were to recommend it to a new player?
To a person that's completely new, never touched a video game in their life, sure, yeah, I think it's a good experience, a good foray for them to learn about JRPGs.
Okay.
This is like a flagship title, and the modern version of it. So
Okay.
even though it's a third of the original game, I think they fleshed out enough of it for it to warrant its own game, in my opinion.
I would agree there. I would definitely agree. Jeannie, what do you have to say?
If I were to recommend it to a new person, I used to do video game reviews, actually, so that's how I actually came to be, ironically enough. But I would give it a 8.5 to early 9. Like
Eight-
early 9, you will have the dock points off of it because the way they advertised it is also misleading because for any person who like heard of Final Fantasy 7, and Final Fantasy 7 is a very, very beloved JRPG, and the West first big like JRPG exposure to the genre, and really the first one that took off. So as a new person, it'd be fine, but I would have to dock points off of it because it's not the full story. And like I said, due to their advertisement of only being Midgar, not a lot of people know about that. I mean, normally I will have to deduct points off of it, and for the normies who are not gonna pay attention to that, it's a little tricky. But combat wise, since it's pretty much a it's kind of like 15's combat system, a little bit tweaked up.
Kind of
if
think
I
it's
remember
13.
correctly. Okay, I never played 13, so I'm not 1% sure. So stuff like that, it's easier for newer people to get in, so they can move around. They don't have to wait. They're impatient. They could just press button and swing, but still be like kind of smart about it. Then, if they just want to enjoy the story, there's a casual mode. Make everything easy. They could just play, just do whatever.
True.
So that's my take on it.
That's true. All right, George, what do you rate it for a new player? Oh, you
Yeah.
still there?
I'm still here.
Give me the lowdown, boy.
Wait, I think you're cutting out for me. Try that again.
Am I cutting out?
For me, anyways.
A little bit.
What would you rate it for a new player?
Me?
Yes, George.
Let's see. Let me think back to the hours that I spent playing the game. I was sitting on my couch and I thought to myself, you know what? I think this is a pretty solid 7 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
I'll
Hell
give
yeah.
it 7 Final Fantasies out of 10.
I like that. That's a good rating. Well, in my case, I think to rate it for a new player with no idea what Final Fantasy VII is and no idea what they're getting themselves into, I think I would have to give it maybe a 5 out of 10 at best. Just because the game is so linear, it is so arduous in its pacing, and how should I put this? It has some problems with not explaining things the best that you need to know, especially for the last hour of the game. So I think a lot of people who don't have any idea what the relevance of the original game is, they're going to be very, very, very fucking confused. But I kind of agreed with everyone's take, so that's good. Next we can get into the graphics. Just like, personally, I think this is one of the best looking games I've ever played. It's like, not often you play a game that just like stands out this much in the graphics production department. So I think I would have to give it just a straight 10 out of 10. What would you give it, Jeannie?
10 out of 10, but those graphics better be damn good if they shoved out all that money and delays and literally hampered 2, maybe 3, arguably 4 different Final Fantasies for this game to come out. Remember, this game got announced originally as a tech demo for the PS3, and I went back to watch the tech demo, then the original trailer of the PS4 version and the final product, it's night and day. I'm like, holy crap!
Well, it's a
It's night and
generational leap.
day. Yeah, that too, and also all that money that they had to shove in. Remember, just thank Final Fantasy 15 dying for their sins for this game to come out. Final Fantasy 13 and its 13ness being whatever for it to come out, and Final Fantasy 14 vanilla being a piece of shit for it to come out the way it is in some way. So, and don't forget, versus 13 that got canceled outright because of everything and all these projects,
Well,
and arguably
first,
Kingdom Hearts 3 being delayed for the end of time.
I'm gonna get to that, but that was all Nomura's fault. KH3 and versus 13. He can get fucked on both of those.
And I agree.
George, you kind of actually could review this, maybe. What would you give
What's
the
that
graphics?
supposed to mean? I know the game like the back of my hand. I think the game looks really good. Yeah, I mean the graphics are really dope, and the UI and everything looks really sleek. One thing I would say is I kind of wish there was some more, like varied environments color wise. It's kind of a lot of like you go to like a factory or something like that, and then you're like in the sewers, and you're like in this slummy town. It's all kind of like grayish, bluish, foggy. Get cloud out on the beach or something, or go to like a forest with a lot of different plants or something.
That's a pretty accurate take. So you did your research. This game is kind of samey in the location department, but that's because it takes place in a rotting pizza Midgar the entire time. So it was a struggle for them to put him on a beach in this chapter.
Maybe like a dream sequence or something,
True.
or like they go to an amusement park on their weekends or something.
They kind of did that. Dame, what do you rate it?
This game looks crazy good. I'm gonna have to give it a 10.
Yeah.
And it's pretty insane how much detail you can like glean from the characters. You can see like their freaking pores and the blemishes on their skin. It gets really detailed.
It is incredible.
It is. There's one thing I wanted to mention about. Oh yeah, if this were on PC, it would be the best looking game. Period.
Yeah.
But they had to release it on the Pro first for a year for some reason. But yeah, go ahead.
I cannot wait for that's what I was going to get into. I was like, the game is capped at 30 frames a second, but even on my normal PS4 Pro, it never dips. At least I never saw it dip. So it's 30 frames rock solid. And the only thing that's a problem is that there's a lot of texture popping, or the textures kind of struggle to load. So man, when that PC version comes out, it's gonna be dope. Like ridiculously dope.
The way it's meant to be played.
Now we can get into the audio portion. This is sound effects, music, just overall presentation of sound. Let's start off with, let's roll it right back to Dame.
Yeah, I gave my review a little early, but yeah, that's a 10.
It's easy 10. Yeah. No elaboration. You just straight flat 10.
just 10. Just
Play it safe.
posting a video. All I say is 10. No, well, yeah, I touched a little bit upon how they took the old themes and gave them a whole new flavor. Like some tracks I didn't even like from the original ones, they like made into bangers in this current one, and I think they did just a stand-up job. So, hats off to the team.
Yeah, I want to say that Nobuo is getting a lot of praise for this, but he honestly composed. I mean, he composed all the tracks, of course, because he originally composed them. But the arrangements, I think he did 2 in the entire game. The Final Fantasy 13 sound team fucking carries this game. They did such a good job. Genie, what do you give the audio?
I give it a 10 as well. I have also never played a Final Fantasy that didn't have bad audio, so I'm pretty confident in their audio team.
It's very true. Well, we're starting off pretty hot right now. We got 10s all over the place. George, what do you think of the audio?
As somebody who's only heard the battle theme, the boss theme, and then the Sephiroth theme from Final Fantasy VII, I think I can say pretty objectively that the original is better. Soundtrack.
You know, not a bad take either. I think the original. There are a few themes that I really think eclipse the original, which I didn't think I would ever say. Like, it's so close to a fucking spoiler. I'm not gonna get into that one. um, yeah. So, what's the grade then for this one?
The grade, let's give it a solid 7 out of 10.
All right, FF
Not
7
bad,
out of
not
10.
Not bad.
Now for some more meat and potatoes and maybe more controversial opinions, let's cover the gameplay aspect. This is encompassing the battle theme, encompassing traversing the area, quests, pretty much everything condensed into the gameplay of the game. Genie, start us off.
I think the gameplay is solid. It is solid. All their workings with 13 and everything onward really helped polish this gameplay.
Hell yeah! So what's the score then?
I would say a solid 9.5, 10.
Damn,
Genie's loving it.
That I'm also a little bit biased because I really like action games. So like Ninja Gaiden, God of War, stuff like that. So that also tickles my fancy.
Well, I'll get into it when it's my turn. Dame, what do you think of the gameplay overall?
I thought it was fun. The boss battles were definitely the highlight, and the trash mobs died in like 1 second, so you didn't even remember what you fought.
Yeah.
Spam triple slash and star shower or whatever that Tifa has, and you're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think it's it's a weird amalgamation of this turn-based system they're trying to do and the action RPG aspects of the latest Final Fantasies. And I don't know how much of I don't know. It could have been a lot better executed, I felt like. There is an emphasis, however, less on like the Dark Souls-y type of action RPG. You don't have to do as much like reacting or dodging or blocking just frame things. It's more of like you use the right move at the right time to beat your opponent. And if you have the previous knowledge from the OG games, I think you'd have an easier time doing so, or else you just scan everything and try to figure out their weakness from there. But gameplay wise, I think it's better than KH3 at least. I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I think that's pretty fair. That's a pretty fair score. George, gameplay. What do you got for me, boss?
It kind of reminds me of. It really reminds me of Kingdom Hearts if you look at it. And I haven't played this one, but I mean I have played this one definitely played the remake. But I think when you like do this type of gameplay, it's like a thin line between like why not just make it like an action game versus you make it like this weird amalgam RPG action game, because like Final Fantasy 13 is kind of like trying to be kind of sort of more actiony rather than RPG kind of. And I feel like it didn't really hit the mark because a lot of times you're just standing around waiting to be allowed to do something. But this one, it definitely seems like the action is there. It seems like you're constantly doing something, but the base game, or at least the regular, looks way too easy. And I don't know about how hard the hard mode is, but it kind of sucks having to play through this easy game, and then once you beat it, then you can play it again, but now you get to challenge yourself.
You are pretty good at your takes today. I'm really agreeing with all of them for a guy who hasn't played the game.
What? Slander.
No, I'm serious. You've played the game, I mean. Sorry.
Of course. You must be confusing me with somebody else.
Yes. So, yeah. First off, I wanted to talk about how the game basically combines a lot of the ideas from Final Fantasy X on. Well, maybe not 12 and 14, but 10, 13, and 15, it really picks the greatest hits from them. And that means that the game is tragically linear. Like, the game opens up at one point in the entire game for you to do any backtracking or questing. You're kind of, for the entire experience, going down corridors, and about 30% of that time you're slow walking, or you're doing some dumbass arduous task like monkey bars, or so I don't know, just traversing the environment I don't enjoy that much. Like, I couldn't foresee myself willingly replaying this game because of those sections. The battle system I like, but it feels to me like it's stuck in a purgatory that pleases no one, because it's quite actiony, which isn't going to please the turn-based folks, but it's just turn-based enough that's it's not going to please the action folks. So I think the battle system's fun, gratifying on normal, just because you feel fucking super overpowered. But on hard mode, the battle system shows all of the ugliness, because God, it is a tragedy. So the overall gameplay I would probably give like a 6.5 out of 10. There's some good ideas. The execution's not there yet, maybe. Oh, and I did want to highlight that the New Game Plus content is basically non-existent. So that brings us to the package value of like the overall, is it worth the $60? Like, time it took to beat, extra content. Dame, what do you think about that?
Is it worth the purchase? I think, especially in these times, if you need something to do to prevent yourself from going crazy, from being quarantined all day, I'd say go ahead, pick it up. If you liked any of the Final Fantasies, I recommend this to you. If you like JRPGs, I'd recommend it to you. If you're George, I would not recommend this game to you.
I think that's probably the proper take. Jeannie, what do you think about it?
I think it's solid, and with the foundation and base built, it can definitely be improved upon. But as our first try, despite all the issues throughout the years aside, I think it's pretty good. I give it like I said, I give it a solid 8.59. There's a few issues that, like, as an overall package, that will weigh it down, like the monkey bars and the advertisements and other tedious last gen corridor hallway fest nonsense, like on some Metal Gear Solid 4 shit. But it's solid. I love it.
Well, George, I think you get a promo here, because a lot of the reasons you don't want to buy the game are in this section. So go off, son.
You know, I'm going to surprise all of you, and I'm going to say that if this game looks like it will interest you, I think you should get it. But it needs to be an informed decision, and you need to, if you don't know what Final Fantasy is and this is your first Final Fantasy, you need to realize that you're buying a portion of a game, and there's no guarantee when you'll get the next part. That's what I think you need to have an informed opinion if you go to buy this game. Final Fantasy fans, definitely buy this game. Final Fantasy 7 fans, buy this game. Everybody else, do your research.
That's a fair take. I agree with that.
But I actually do have a question. 2 questions, actually. So, I played the game, of course. But imagine you're somebody who hasn't played the game, hypothetically. Do you feel like it ends? Does it end and feel like it's a satisfying ending, or does it end and feel like you're waiting for the next part?
We're gonna go over that in story, so I can do the spoiler thing, but I'll definitely get into that. What's your second question?
Have they said when the second part comes out, are you just gonna like transfer your save file to the second part? Are you gonna like stay the same level and keep all your potions and everything?
They have not talked about that, but the interesting thing is they actually might, because the level cap in this game is 50. So,
but I mean, you really think they're just gonna let you go in there level 50 on the part 2?
Well, I think they'll probably do something goofy, like they'll start part 2 at level 50. It's just a possibility. It's what came to my mind because I can't figure out why else they would have capped it at level 50.
Probably because there isn't 99 levels of content.
True. Um, well,
I'm just wondering if they're gonna do that.
that is an interesting question.
They're because you have like all your items and your materia and stuff, right? So hopefully you transfer that over.
Yeah. That is interesting, but they haven't said when the second part's coming out. All they've said is that now that they have the engine and the assets, it probably will not take as long as 5 years, which whoopsie fucking do. I would hope not.
2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years. I mean, if we go off of Final Fantasy 13, the trilogy, those came out every 2 years. So that's
Yeah,
best.
now they're working. Everybody's working from home now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big factor in it. Plus, we got a new console generation coming up too, so they get acquainted, get used to the PS5 specs and the hardware and everything too. So that also puts a hamper in some progress.
Well, luckily, I don't think the console generations mean as much as they used to, so they can port this engine very easily to the next console. So now I want to tell you all that this is when the spoilers come. So seriously, if you don't know what happens and you want to discover this by yourself, click the big fat X in the top right because we going in now. Unchained. All right. So
Baby.
this is the story review portion, which we can't talk about without spoilers. Who's going to volunteer to start off on what they think of the story? Nobody?
I'll step up here.
Hell
I
yeah.
got it. This is what I was waiting for right here.
Yeah, this is the meat and potatoes.
Okay. So I feel like they've made efforts into trying to make this feel like a complete game, and by doing so, they fucked up some of the pacing that I liked of the original starting out. So they introduce Sephiroth way too early, and he just pops in and says hi and then pops back out. It kind of destroys that sense of mystery towards him and what made him so menacing in the original one. So that's one thing I didn't really like of what they changed in this part.
I'm hella
In
nodding
terms
my
of
head.
recreating, in terms of recreating the original, the parts that they did redo, I think they did a phenomenal job just revisiting all of those old places. It just felt like a breath of fresh air, but yet a sense of nostalgia when you first go into town and you hear those tunes. So they did a pretty good job on that. I think they characterized certain characters pretty well in the main cast. Aerith got a huge glow up. Cloud is just Cloud, different variations of different Clouds. You never know which one he's going to be.
Yeah.
Barrett is just a joy to watch and hear him be voiced by. Let's see, what else is there?
The whole voice acting team did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, they're awesome. They really did not skimp on the voice acting, and I did actually play the English dub this time. So for all you guys calling me a weeb and only playing subs, this one's for you.
This is one game a
Still
decade.
fuck that.
It's one game a decade. This is the game I chose. Pretty big one. And let's talk a little bit about the finale, because I think George asked the question, is like, did they leave this off on a point where it could be continued from, or does it feel like its own game? And they did kind of like a safety net ending where it did say like to be continued in another game, but the resolution and how they tied things up was completely different than how they did things in the original. Because once you leave Midgard, you just get the whole overworld and you get to go wherever you want, right? But in this game, there's this whole added storyline of these whispers, and you've got to like change fate and beat them up or whatever, and don't let them control your destiny, yada yada. I thought the boss fights were cool, but I don't know how good of an addition that was to introduce this kind of plot element and only have it be deleted in one game. But I don't know. I'm interested to see where they go from here, because they did some weird fuckery with timelines and some bullshit. You see like Zack at the end. At first I like Zack as a main character. I think he's miles better than Cloud. I played through Crisis Core, and they characterized him pretty well. His new English voice actor sucks though, but
Yeah.
continuing on from there. The last point I want to touch on is they bring back characters. I'm not sure if this is in their own timeline or timelines or what the fuck is going on there at the end, but I hope it's not in the same timeline because that kind of cheapens the sacrifices of some of the characters earlier in the story.
And it
They
cheapens
died,
Zack.
keep him dead. Yeah, they just kill Barrett off for like 10 seconds for no reason. What was the point of that?
That was
Anyways,
so dumb.
those are my gripes. I don't know if you guys agree, or I'll listen to your takes now.
I'm gonna go now, and I just want to actually like recap the story actually really quick to get everyone up to speed because so the original, yes, it takes place completely in Midgar, and Midgar is very linear in the original as well, but the story is very well paced. Nothing takes too long in the original, and it ends in this really fun motorcycle chase everyone remembers. But before that, the whole Shinra HQ story is it becomes almost a horror game because in the original, because like you don't know what's going on. There's lots of science experiments and like it doesn't explain anything. It's just like expose more. So in the remake now, it's very tried and true. It follows the original story progression almost to a T, except for Whispers doing dumb shit that you don't, it basically beats it over the head that this is going to be a different story early on. But the story eventually changes at, I would say, right before Sephiroth steals Genova. That's when the story starts completely changing. And from there, we get a new, entirely invented sequence in Hojo's lab where you fight through a bunch of experiments, and you get a great boss battle against one of those weird enemies that had no story in the original. The Swordipede, he's that long, weird caterpillar thing. That I loved that part. But the whole section was awful. It's a bunch of levers and bullshit and dumb quick time events. Anyways, so it completely changes the way you are introduced to Sephiroth stealing Genova, which there's no horror in it. And it's basically, they couldn't even show blood. So he steals Genova, goes upstairs, and you don't find him. You find President Shinra hanging off the ledge instead of stabbed with a sword. This changes everything. Shinra gets up. Barrett lets him live. He goes and gets a gun and tries to kill Barrett. Sephiroth appears, stabs Shinra. That's a different sort of event. And then he goes in and stabs Barrett, which I thought was like the big, like, oh, this is the new shit. But he dies for 10 seconds, and the Whispers bring him back because it's not in this timeline. The Whispers won't allow it to happen. So you get where we're going, right? The Whispers are enforcing the original timeline. So essentially it goes from there, where you are now fighting against the Whispers to try to free your fate. So that's just catching people up, just to know what's going on right now. Jeannie, what do you think of the story?
Majority of it's the same, but like those segments, like the last 2 hours, was very like what the fuck, and literally the whole story, because of these Whispers of Fate, aka plot ghost of Destiny, Nomura, Kingdom Hearts, crack smoking ball bullshit, is like out of nowhere, and I saw a lot of people very concerned of it. I think it's ballsy, but I'm also concerned of it because Final Fantasy VII has a very beloved game in terms of like the lore and characters and everything, and if you and it's almost on like Star Wars levels of like people love this shit. If you so much as like desecrating any sort of matter, people will go bananas. and I'm kind of also in that boat, but I think it's interesting and gutsy in a way. But I'm also worried. Some of the add-ons I do like though. I like how they added more character development for the side characters because of everything. Mostly all the Avalanche members you just don't give a shit about in the original. And I like how they brought up Wutai loads more and went more into the whole war. Because like in the original, I do not recall like them bringing up that war before the events of Final Fantasy VII like much at all.
Very small,
Due to
yeah.
Yeah, like I do not remember anything about that. But like in here, they bring it up so much, and with the whole Avalanche, they expanded on Avalanche more as an actual eco-terrorist organization because like in the original, they're like, okay, eco-terrorists, they just like sprinkled here and there, here and there, here and there. But in here, you see the effects of everything, every decision they make, you see the effects, and that also affects Jessie and her character because she has guilt over some of the decisions she made when it comes to reactors, and that affects her all the way, and a little bit lesser to Wedge and Biggs as well. So I thought that was interesting. And all the extra characters they added with Shinra. I like that. I like that touch more. And just like I like how they added through the story. They added more side characters, some of which were in from like the side novels and prequel comics and other bullshit. I do enjoy that. Like that little girl with the hat with the brown hair, that Kyrie chick or whatever. Apparently, she's from a side novel.
And she should have stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was there
just
for like
there.
one side quest, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
I
she was.
don't
She
know
was
how
on.
much I like that addition. She had like a pretty unique like character design. It's like, oh, she's gonna be a major part when I first saw her in the subway train, but after that, you don't really hear her until the end of the game where she's on a minor side quest mission. So
Yeah, a completely
on, Jim.
forgotten element of the game that you could, if you don't do that quest, not even know about her at all.
Yeah.
It's a budget Yuffie.
Yeah.
Yeah, budget
Jim, you
Yuffie.
gotta defend. Okay, never mind.
I
just
was about
say
to
it.
because I'm like, I like the design, but I'm just gonna back off.
She's Marie from Persona 4 Golden, Genie.
That's why
She's a
he
clone.
likes
I know, but everything else is like, fuck. I like this too much. Let me back off.
All right, Jeannie,
Speaking
what do
of,
you
like,
rate the
added
story?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Genie. Rate that.
Nah, you're fine.
What do you rate the story, Jeannie?
I give it a solid 7.58. It will be more but I'm just worried about everything with the whole plot ghost and Nomura's crazy Mako fused cocaine party decisions when it comes to stories.
Yes.
So
Well, I think that's
I
fair.
am worried about that.
Yeah.
If you
I do.
the spoiler for the ending is that essentially they start to realize that the fates are intertwining and stopping them from doing stuff. So they have to fight Genova super early for some random reason. It isn't even explained. It tries to unexplain it, in fact, by showing that they were Reunion followers and not Genova and Sephiroth. And then they go on the crazy motorcycle thing. They eventually run into Sephiroth, who's like, I'm big and bad and I'm scary. Just know that if you go and try to meet me in this portal, you're gonna have to forget about all the shit that you know already, the fans, you know. So they enter the portal. They fight fate its fucking self. A big boss fight against the ghost of fate, basically. Which, very unfun fight, I thought. And then Of
It's
course,
whack.
you have to fight against Sephiroth, which I thought was the worst part of the story. Just a random, unnecessary Sephiroth fight.
It really felt tacked on at the
Yeah.
end there.
And
The
Nora,
fact
Nora
that
want to blow his load
it's
yeah,
because
so
everyone loves
sad.
Sephiroth, right?
It's sad because the One Winged Angel remix from the 13 team is absolutely godlike. Like, it's so good.
It's so good. I love it.
And then after you beat Sephiroth, you somehow get teleported to the edge of creation, they call it. And instead of you killing Sephiroth with Omni Slash like the old games, he blocks it all, and then he's like, alright, if you're not going to join me, I'll give you 7 seconds to change whatever you want. So Cloud has 7 seconds to revive a bunch of people, including Zack, including Jesse, I imagine, including we see Biggs. So it's basically setting it up for nothing you know is the same. We can do whatever we want in the next game. In this like Infinity War bullshit alternate timeline way. Yeah. So George, what do you think about the ending?
Sounds pretty whack, honestly.
It's very Kingdom Hearts with some fucking Sasuke, Itachi, like dynamic bullshit to it.
I mean, it sounds like they're just setting themselves up to disappoint a lot of fans of the original. Because I mean, I feel like they're just setting themselves up to disappoint a lot of fans. Like, because it seems like maybe this is like a good ending where nobody dies, but like, I don't know. I just don't see how they could change the story that would be like satisfying to people. Because the story that already existed was pretty satisfying. It's like people are saying, "Oh, they should have done this or they should have done that."
Yeah, and they're actively like kind of undoing the sacrifices that meant something in the story you just played. Like you no longer you can be like, "Oh, Jesse and Biggs and Wedge, you know, they're all revived. Who gives a shit?" And then their sacrifice is kind of dampened, you know. It's
But I mean,
cool.
like, I just don't get how they could. Like, what are they going to do? Introduce a new antagonist or
Well,
like, because
Sephiroth
from,
is
from
dead
like,
now, so-
say this Zack character lives. Does he like join your party? Does he die later? Like, it would be kind of lame if you revive these characters and they just die later. Like, he
yeah.
just makes another sacrifice or.
That's
Well,
good. That's gonna be hard because Zack living is up. Zack's existence is literally what pushes Cloud to do the things he's do later down the line. So
Oh yeah.
him living is kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. You reminded me of this. Somehow Cloud, and in the original game, Cloud has to go through a long period before he even knows about Zack. He doesn't find out about who Zack is until midway through Disc 2. So it's a long ways in the game. So Cloud's thing is he's insane, basically, because he's a soldier clone with Sephiroth's genetics. So he's controlled by Sephiroth very easily through the life stream, which is the Ooga Booga, like, afterlife, you know?
It beat Ghost Magic.
Yeah, so in this game, he somehow knows that that of Zack's existence, because before that point, he thinks he is Zack. He's like so psychotic and broken as a person that he thinks he's Zack. So I don't know how the fuck. I guess it's in that moment where they're like, the fates are showering you with memories of the future. Maybe he figured it out there,
Right.
but I mean, God, it's so bad. Like, just, I don't want to say the ending's bad because I want to give Nomura this much of credit. They couldn't have remade the game the way it was. There's just no way. They would have disappointed as many people with the not half-assed remake, but if they took this much time and this much effort for just Midgar, we would literally have like 9 episodes of this. So this is kind of their get out of jail free card of like, okay, we can't give you the remake you want. Please understand. Accept the next one with completely new outcome.
I mean, don't you think if they had followed the story as written and then, like Jeannie said, they fleshed out all these characters, they didn't get time and flesh out more of the ideas, more of the backstory, world build more, don't you think it could satisfy a lot of people?
It would, but I don't think they could. Otherwise, it would. I mean, would we really want them to do this until I'm 60 years old? Like, Midgar is 6 hours of the original game. And then once you get out, there is, 20 more hours. So,
I mean, I just think that the rest of the game won't be like. I don't think they're gonna stretch the rest of the game out like they stretched out Midgard.
no, certainly not. Midgar is the biggest portion of the game, like, as a central location. But, I mean, if they were to recreate the linear story progression of the original, it would take them forever. So this is their like way to get out of that obligation. And I mean, it's not so subtle that they are saying that the whispers are the fans.
Maybe
They
they'll
killed
just
the
change.
fans.
Maybe
Kill
they
the
are
fans
saying
or
they
the
are the
wishes.
fans.
I'm just wondering how many like new characters are gonna be introduced that weren't existing in Final Fantasy VII.
They're introduced one, and you meet him pretty early on. He's like straight out Kingdom Hearts.
He's
Yeah, the
talking about like
motorcycle dude,
party members,
Roche.
I think.
Yeah, Roche. I think he's fucking sick. Like, I'd love to see more of this character. Hopefully, they flesh him out more.
Fucking Leslie, Marie, the landlady chick. They added a few characters, but they all felt kind of inconsequential.
Yeah.
In the end, honestly. I was expecting
Yeah.
Roche on the motorcycle chase at the end of the game. I'm surprised he didn't like pop his head out and be like,
I really thought they were
Yeah,
gonna have him
fucking
there,
on
but
my
they
bike.
didn't.
yeah, I feel like that's kind of a waste of introducing him in the first game if you're not going to have him riding
Oh.
his bike, and that's his entire gimmick. But
They probably
Right.
couldn't have, because that's another critique of the ending, is that it's like a fucking non-stop boss rush, where it's like you fight, let's see, you start with Genova, and then you fight Rufus, and then you fight Fate, and then you fight Sephiroth, and they all happen within like 5 minutes of each other, like boom, 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 boom. No pacing. And the
even before
motorcycle...
that, you fight like the swordfish, and you fight like
The giant mech.
the giant mech on the
Oh,
road,
yeah.
the highway.
You do have to fight him. Just the crazy motorcycle section takes forever. So, yeah, the pacing goes right out the window, and Nomura goes, all right, cracks his knuckles, and he goes in. So, yeah. Let's get a flat rating of the story from everyone now. Dame, what's the overall?
It's kind of hard to rate it without all the parts out, but so far, if this were its own standalone game and everything ended here, I'd give it like I'd give it a 6. I'm gonna be a little harsh this time.
Hell yeah. Genie?
I do want to note before I do that within the context of the story and these Mako, Destiny, fanfic, plot ghosts, that Aerith in Red 13 does give a lot of hints that they kind of know what the hell is going on. Then even when Cloud's dream, she kind of says, hey, don't fall in love with me, which kind of points towards like, hey, don't fall in love with me. I love Zach. Kind of nonsense with that going on in Crisis Core. So
True.
I did want to bring that up.
Good point.
Yeah,
But-
actually, that part I think you can get either Tifa or Aerith in that like dream sequence.
You
I didn't know
can.
about this
I-
before, but
Yeah, you can get
Really?
3
I
different
didn't know that.
outcomes. I
Yeah,
think you can
yeah.
get Barrett even.
I really Barrett.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
about that, but in the original you could. So I imagine they did it this time too.
I know for the outfits, it's different because you had to do like the side quest and everything. You can even get different outfits for Cloud, apparently.
Yeah.
So that was surprising for me.
So what's the score, Gene?
But I would give it a solid 7 point. I'll give it a solid 7.5 at most because of all the changes. It's just I'm all worried about how everything is going on, and if they mess up in any way, and like I said, Final Fantasy is a big RPG for a lot of fans, and the West's first experience for the game and that franchise, and people love this game like the second coming of Jesus Christ. So if they fuck this up, like I think Square is done. Like they cannot afford to mess remake up.
This is
Because that's literally how they got the name Final Fantasy in the first place. Got pushed back in the corner and then to make a new game, and they bet it all in that one game. And I feel like they're in a similar situation now with remake, in which this game has to do well. Otherwise, we bone because of all the money we spend on 14 and 13 and 15 and Kingdom Hearts, and Numero just pissing away like a crackhead. So that's just my 2 cents on everything.
Yeah. That's a good point, because I want everyone who's okay with this story to realize that you've just given Nomura free reign on the story now. And look what he did to all of your favorite series, like Kingdom Hearts. Like, yeah, he had really great writing in that, right? And we're trusting him. George, what is your score?
You know, I'm gonna give Nomura the benefit of the doubt.
Damn.
And kind of I'm just gonna give him like a 3 out of 10, just in advance.
Hell yeah. I mean, you've played Kingdom Hearts, so you know how that goes. So yeah, I mean, it's a travesty just because it was a no-win situation. So I kind of want to give him the benefit of the doubt as far as like, let's see where it goes. But I've been beaten and bruised by him too many times. So we'll see. But there's no other way they could have done it. So yeah. So let's get an overall grade for the remake. Dame, start us off.
Overall grade, I'm leaning towards an 8, maybe a 9, depending on my mood that day. So
A fair grade. Genie?
Roughly the same 8, 9 on my mood.
Respect.
I'm leaning more towards 8.
Respect. George?
Big old 7 out of 10.
Big old 7 out of 10. Well, guess what, George? I'm with you. 7 out of 10 from me.
I knew it.
So I feel like we accomplished nothing here, but we at least got our piece out there, and I feel better. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I've been holding in to talk about the spoilers for the longest time.
Yeah.
yeah, if any of you admins are listening to this, give us our own damn channel so we can talk about
Yeah,
it.
give us our fucking channel. So let's move on to our plugs. I have plugs today because I remembered to learn them. So my Twitter is NEBR_MKL. My stream
Changed it.
is NE_MKL. And my YouTube, I still can't figure out what it is. It might be Mike and Ryan Tonight, but that one, it doesn't like tell me very well. And I want to change it, but I don't know. Whatever on that one.
I think it's Mr. Clue.
Not on YouTube. Not on YouTube. All right. So Dame, where can the people find you?
You know, you really ought to have like some text on the infographic, like under our names or something.
You're right. You're right. I should just do that instead.
But yeah, I'll take this time to show my credentials here. So you can find me at @Dame_again on Twitter. Same thing for Twitch. I haven't streamed in a while. Maybe I should stream something here soon. The people have been calling for some Stilt Fella, so I'll look into that.
Hell yeah. George, where can the people find you?
You can find me sometimes on Twitch at Yo1George.
And that's it. That's it still.
That's it. That's it.
All right,
You guys
Genie,
gotta convince me to set my Twitter up.
we'll get you
It's
before
not
the end
hard.
of this.
Yeah, but why should I, Genie?
Fighting game drama. Free shit.
Yeah, but I don't need a Twitter to see that. And I'm not gonna win anything on Twitter. Have you won anything on Twitter, Genie?
Yes, actually. That's actually how I won my copy of Soul Calibur 5. And that's how I got to the fighting game community. Dead serious.
Damn. You
What a
hear
story.
that? All right, Genie, where can the people find you?
My name is Gamegenie222 everywhere, from Twitch to Twitter, except for YouTube. It's just 22 on
Ooh.
YouTube.
Nice.
There's a story with that. There's a story with that.
Well, we'll get into the next time. We're gonna get into the old-fashioned shout-outs and bitch callings. Does anyone have them ready? Crickets. So I'll buy you some time. Shout-outs go to the Final Fantasy 13 music staff, which is like, it's Hama Uzu, Mitsuto, Suzuki. There's a few of them, but they really did an amazing job with the arrangements on Final Fantasy VII. Bitch calling goes to Tetsuya Nomura, obviously, because he had a very strong hand in designing this ending in a very Nomura fashion. So both of mine are related to this episode topic. Did I buy you enough time, boys?
I go. So shoutouts to Square and the English voice cast. I really love it. It actually made me give a shit about some of the characters, especially Aerith and Tifa and Barrett. I actually really like Aerith now because of the remake, especially with the trying to get into the Honeybee Inn. I found that whole experience just delightful and hilarious, especially watching Aerith just laughing at Cloud doing that dance off with Andre. That was funny.
If you don't play the game, at least watch the Honeybee Inn sequence because it is pretty hilarious and godlike.
Oh yeah, I agree. I also appreciate Bear. It's like a random time. I don't know the numbers, but he will actually hum the victory fanfare scream after he beat an enemy. And when I heard that in the demo, I freaked out. I'm like, that is godlike. I geeked out so hard when I heard that for the first time.
It's good the first time. The 4,000th time, he can get fucked.
Yeah, thankfully, it doesn't come up very often. Thankfully.
All right, what's the
there
bitch
is
call,
one.
Genie?
The bitch call. You actually took part of the bitch call, but Nomura's a bitch for being Nomura with his Mako-fused crackhead ideas and fanfic.net ideas. The WWE is a bitch right now because they laid off a bunch of people and they're forcing people to work. They're wrestlers despite everything, and they let off a lot of people. And Fitzman got some connections, and he got the WWE and the state of Florida deemed an essential service to wrestle. So they're not going to close down. So he's going to have his workers do their job with everything that's going on right now. And there's a giant shitstorm after this, so that's another bitch calling.
Hell yeah. It wasn't related to the podcast topic, so I like that one a lot. Have we bought you enough time yet, George?
Dave could go first.
All right. I don't have any good ones like you guys, but shoutouts to the guy that delivered my bowl of ramen today. Essential workers are always gonna get kudos from me.
Damn, that's the second week in a
got
row.
It 15 minutes. Yeah, second week in a row. He got it 15 minutes before the podcast.
Damn.
Gave me enough time to chow down and have a nice dinner before jumping on with you guys. So I tipped him generously.
Nice. That's what I ate tonight too.
For my bitch calling, I'll triple down here on Nomura. You were so close to the finish line, man. Just let the motorcycle pass the end there and just continue it normally. We don't need all of this time fuckery.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Triple
Go
up
ahead,
for
George.
sure. That's a good one. All right, George, you got the way out now.
You know, actually, shout outs to Sonic Fox because they've been playing some Tekken, and I think with this quarantine, they're going to have enough time to just hyperbolic time chamber it and beat everybody.
Well, he got to Tekken God Prime in like 2 nights and in 200 matches. So get fucking good, everyone who can't beat TGP, including myself.
Fame. Luckily, Sonic Fox has street experience.
I'm hoping that Sonic Fox just wins the next TWT or some shit. That'd be pretty dope.
Hell yeah.
I don't see that happening. he'll actually have to like hard body stick with the game. I'd love to see it happen
Dream,
though.
Genie, we can dream.
Oh yeah, we can definitely dream. I can also dream for people to play more KI. Shout out to those people who play all that KI.
Who's playing all that KI, Genie? Who is that?
Weirdos locked in their houses. Me, you should play KI. You would actually like it.
No,
That's my shilling for the day.
All right, what's the bitch calling, boss?
the bitch calling. Let's say. You know, I would say no more up, but it seems like everybody's already got that covered. Let's say bitch calling. Fuck, I don't know. Let's say. I don't know.
Damn, he's so methodical. He's not just letting it spray and pray.
Let me just find something real quick.
All right.
Let's just, you know what? I'll just throw it out. Let's say Arxis for the whack ass UI.
Damn, you done good. You dug deep again. Second week in a row, but you got there. You got there.
I've been enjoying Majin Obama's shade that he's throwing at Arxis.
Obama is a treasure. I'll just say that for sure.
Great.
Yuna's throwing shade at Obama for shitting on 50 years, so we're balanced here.
That whole love triangle is so good. All right, boys and girls. Well, that is it from us. This is our longest podcast yet, but we had a decent amount to talk about. Again, we're here every Wednesday at 7. We'll find anything to talk about, and we'll get past that hour mark, even if we have 3 things to talk about. So, have a good one, boys and girls.